Welcome to another episode of FaderCast. I took a few weeks break simply because there wasn't much going on really. The when was that? On 16th of July, the 15 years of Faderhead show happened, and then there was a bit of a downswing, simply because I wanted to take some time off. I was feeling a little tired, and I had the the opportunity to not do stuff, and I figured there's no reason to then release a podcast that says, "Oh, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything." Today is August 8th, which is Sunday, and I think yesterday the festival in Mannheim would have happened, where I declined to play because Nachtma was playing there, and I did not want to be associated with them. I'm sad to hear that the festival is had to be canceled due to COVID numbers and like constant bad weather, watering up the festival grounds. So they did the kind of reasonable, smart thing where they said, this is not going to be fun for anyone to sit around in masks all day and have to distance, and then already also stand and sit around in the mud. So they canceled that festival, which, for me is sad to hear, because even though I don't like the band Nachtmann, I don't want to be associated with them. This would have been a fun thing for everyone in Mannheim, the whole scene, and good thing for Super Schwarzes Mannheim, Jürgen and the guys, who probably already put a lot of money and effort into staging and promoting this. So I don't know. For some reason, I got a DM from someone saying, "Oh, so you're happy probably that this is..." No, I'm not happy at all. I'm not happy at all if something like that has to be canceled. And what else is there? I think for some reason, some people, very very few people, let's say it. Most people understood exactly what I was saying. For some reason, I think people thought that I said Nachtma should be banned and prohibited or something like that. And I specifically always said, as long as they're legal within the German law, they are free to do and say whatever they want. It's just my prerogative not to be associated with that. And just to think that I would be really happy that a whole festival with, I don't know how many bands, 4 or 5 bands, gets canceled because I don't like the visual statement that a band makes. That's pretty petty. And that's not the case. So this would have happened this weekend, and it's not happening. I don't know. That's all I heard. I was not involved in this, obviously. So what I did instead this week was start the new album production, and that is obviously something that I'm very involved in. So I'm looking at my little album production spreadsheet, and if you've known me for a little longer than since the last album production, then I've always used, I think literally for over 15 years, 20 years now, I've used an album production spreadsheet, which has the following columns. It says track numbers, so I can figure out how many songs I actually have, then the style of the track, then there's the demo title, then there's a final title, then there's the BPM, and then there's little columns that just get X's once stuff is done. One is for songwriting, if basically the music and the structure is written. One is for lyrics, if all the lyrics are written. One is for production, when all the finishing touches are done. One is for vocal recording, if I properly recorded vocals to to go from demo vocals to proper vocals. And then one is for mixing. So whenever I look at this right now, I see about 20 tracks right here. 18 of which have songwriting done. This is the good part. I can just look at it and see what needs to be done next. And right now, 18 have songwriting done. The ones that that have, they're just like choruses, I think, right now. and they're called Drawers Full of Jars. That's the demo title. I have in my head what the song sounds like. And one is called NPL, and I have no idea what NPL stands for. I do remember what the chorus there sounds like, but I have no idea why this is called NPL. And then I don't know how many lyrics are written. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 20 are fully written. Most of these already have, like all of the other ones have chorus lyrics, and probably some of them have fake lyrics with melodies for the verses. So it's not like I have to come up with something completely new. Most of the demos are just, songs that are half written or, have fake lyrics, fake melodies, whatever, just to get along in the song. And this album production sheet is always one of the most important things to start a production process, because if you don't know what you still have to do, it kind of gets all jumbled up in your head. It creates, it reduces the motivation. It creates demotivation, if I want to call it like that. And the other way around, if I now know exactly that later I have to finish drawers full of jars and NPL, so I can just sit down and finish those and then cross them off my little, list here. And then I can just move on and say, okay, the next song here that has the demo title "Be With You," which is a terrible demo title. This still needs lyrics, and so I can just sit down and start writing lyrics for that. Or if I don't feel like doing that, I write for something else. And that's the state of the production process right now. And today is what I just said. I'm gonna have to write the music and maybe some of the lyrics to "Drawers Full of Jars" in NPL, and let's see how that goes. Still Sunday. I am sitting here looking at possible album titles, and this podcast was made to actually document the making of the next album, which I haven't done yet. So the first, 7 episodes or something were about not making the album, simply because I just hadn't started. So I'm going to talk a lot more about making the album now, simply because I'm going to do that a lot more. And right now I'm looking at 8 possible album titles, which are all pretty good, but pretty good hasn't got me stoked completely on one of them. 2 of those were suggestions that some of you, or some of the Patreon supporters, sent in because I asked if anyone had an idea. And we'll see what happens. Right now, I don't know. I like maybe 3 of the 8 the most. And one of them even has "Behold" in the title. So like, "Behold, Faderhead is coming." Well, that's not the title, but it starts with "Behold." And it's probably not going to be that one, but I like it for some reason. We'll see. The choice of album title is kind of one of the next things that has to happen. Well, not like next things by tomorrow, but since the Kickstarter campaign starts early September, I should have the album title done by then, simply because it's just necessary to give people some sort of framework, what they're actually going to get. I know that a lot of people will just say, fuck, we don't care. It could be called Care Bears Love Industrial or whatever. We'll just listen to the music. But, it should... there is a schedule, and if you're on Patreon and get the weekly newsletter, then you know this already. I have posted in the newsletter, I've posted a backwards schedule, which is just for me to know by when which action, what part of this process has to be done. And yeah, the album title is one of the things that need to be done early. And then we'll see. Because a lot of things depend on the album title. For instance, the album artwork depends on that. If the album title is Behold, Faderhead is coming, the artwork is going to be different than Care Bears Love Industrial. So very different. So, and which means this is one of the things that has to come first. The Asteria album was the title of the album was there before most of the music was finished, so that was very helpful. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. None of the album titles is Care Bears Love Industrial, just just to make sure that this was not misunderstood. And none of them is also Behold, Faderhead is coming. Although the more often I say this, the more I like it.
FaderCast.
Sunday, 2:00. I am just finished with the first track, which is the song that was what was it? Jars full of drawers or something like that. Drawers full of jars. And something is really interesting about my process these days of writing. And I mean, this is probably a little more in depth than most people want or can use. But one of the most oftenly asked questions, oftenly is oftenly a word? Often? I don't know. Is there an adverb to often? I have to look that up. Anyway, one of the questions I get asked a lot is, where does your inspiration come from? And what comes first, the lyrics or the music or the whatever? And always the answer is it depends. It's like the most boring question in the history of rock and roll. Basically, it's been asked a million trillion times. And any, in air quotes, journalist or anyone who asks that, yeah, they should be ashamed of themselves. Simply because, it's always the same. It's from everywhere. Anyway, what's my point? Yes. A lot of you have probably heard me say that I write down every idea that I get into, in this case, Google Keep, which is a cloud note-taking service, which is free. And so that I categorize them into, I don't know, dark lyrics and funny lyrics and whatever. So that it's easy for me to say, okay, this song is sad, so let me look into my sad lyrics pile and see what I find there. And quite frequently this works. In this case, it also worked. I had this chorus that was about draws and jars, and it was just me singing non-real English or some sort of English that doesn't make any sense, so that way I get the melody out and I get the rhythm out. And for some reason, I found something in my pile of lyrics that perfectly fit that and was way deeper and way more on point than the stupid draws, jars, lyrics that I just wrote to rhyme. So once I recorded that in a crappy demo vocal, I then had to figure out how to find some lyrics for the verses, because before all of this, the demo so far was only the fake chorus. So before all of this, I just wrote out the whole rest of the song, the verses, the bridge, all that kind of stuff in a structure way, and just the basics, bare bones. And once I had the good lyrics for the chorus, inspired by the idea that I had written down. I don't know when, I don't remember this idea ever writing that down. And then I tried to find more ideas for the verses, and it didn't work. Anything that I found that made any sense in my pile of lyrics, it didn't fit rhythmically, or I couldn't find good melodies. And this happens very often. So what I do then is I just scratch everything that's in my pile of lyrics, and I just sing fake lyrics again. I just sing a melody and a rhythm and fake whatever mumbo jumbo comes to my mind. And then for some reason, two words are in there. One word was nostalgia, and the other word I don't remember right now. And I had to laugh in my head when I was singing that because I thought, man, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use nostalgia or something related to that. And this is so interesting because what happens here is that there is something outside or inside of me that tells me through my fake lyrics that this is what the song is supposed to be about. And it's amazing how that works almost constantly. I didn't do that 10 years ago, but in the last, I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years, I've done this so many times. And maybe it's because I'm very experienced at that I'm just able to just free flow and let whatever muse is guiding me on that day write that stuff. But more often than not, this works really well. And what happens frequently is that I sing fake lyrics and then I randomly, without even noticing, add 3-4 real words in there. And these words become defining for the direction. And for some reason, in the end, it'll turn out like a song lyrically that makes a lot of sense to my current circumstances. And this is at the same time spooky and very cool, because once I learned that this happens over and over, I started just using this on purpose. So right now what I did is on this song, fake lyrics first on the chorus, then replace them with an idea I've written down whenever, then try to find other ideas that I had, didn't work, did fake lyrics for the verses, and now I'm starting to have ideas about what to write for the verses that fits with the chorus. It's a great, interesting way how somehow the universe or whatever channels ideas without me even being conscious of the ideas. Thank you for listening to this episode of FaderCast. If you have any questions or suggestions, please email me at contact@faderhead.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Faderhead_official, and everywhere else just under Faderhead. Please be a friend and tell a friend about this podcast, and hopefully until next time.
FaderCast.